Hi, junior historians. Today we're going to take a look at this space, the kitchen of the Molly Brown House Museum. We're going to learn a little bit more about the other people who would have lived in this house besides Margaret Brown and her family. There are a few clues inside this space that tell us who would have used, lived, and worked here. Let's take a look. The first clue we have about who used the space is up here on the wall next to the door frames. This is called an annunciator. Any guesses what that might mean? This little box has rooms listed inside, and you'll notice that there is a bell on top. In different rooms inside the house, there is a button. And when somebody pushes that button, a ringing noise goes off here on the kitchen. The arrows move, and this is so that the people in the kitchen know where to go. So who would have had to use this? The servants would have been the ones to look at this box, and the guests and the family would have been the ones to push the buttons. Another clue in this room as to who would have used this space are these stairs. You'll notice that these stairs are very steep and they're very narrow. They lead all the way up to the third floor. These are what we call the servant stairs. This staircase would have only been used by servants, by the maids going up and down the stairs to clean the rooms, or by other servants as they were getting things for guests and for family. Margaret Brown, her family and guests, would have never used these stairs. They would have used the front stairs at the front of the house. On this side of the kitchen, we also have our sink, as well as a workspace. Let's take a look at the butler's pantry. This area is where the Browns kept their silver and all of their dishes. The housekeeper or the butler would hold the key to these items. And again, Margaret would only come into the space if she was talking to the servants, to the cooks, or needed something from them. On the other side of the kitchen, we have the Cooks Pantry. This space would have held the food and other items that the cook would have used to cook. Canned goods were invented in the early 1900s, making cooking a lot easier for the household. We also have a scale in this room and a mixer. Another clue as to who would have used this room is this item. Any guesses what it is? It is an electric washing machine, brand new technology in the early 1900s. Now, this washing machine does not heat the water. You still need to put hot water inside, but it does have a spin cycle, and it's actually a combination washer and dryer. Let's take a look around the kitchen to see other items. We have our stove that is both coal and wood burning. And we have our items on our kitchen table. We are now on the third floor, entering the servants' quarters. This room would have been used by the female servants of the house if they lived with the Browns. Many servants in the early 1900s would live in apartments and would just come to work for the Browns like coming to any other job. But sometimes servants would actually live in the house. This room would have traditionally had 2 beds inside of it, as well as other things for the servants to use. Did the servants have a bathroom? They did not. They had access to a sink with running water, but they would have had to use other means of going to the bathroom or taking baths during the day. Margaret and her family employed around 5 servants inside the house. There would have been a cook or a housekeeper, maids, a coachman, a stable boy, and sometimes some other maids inside the house as well. These servants would be hired or let go depending on if the family was living in the house or if they were traveling around the world. The male servants would live in the carriage house across the courtyard. The female servants would live in that 3rd floor space that we just looked at. Although many servants did have their own apartments and they just came to work, as we mentioned. Margaret was known for treating her servants well. She made sure that they had high, fair wages and that they had a day off each week. She also allowed them to use the library inside the house. Margaret worked in a factory from ages 13 to 18, and she truly believed that children should get an education instead of working. And so Margaret did not hire servants that were too young, and she also made sure that the servants she did hire would get an education. She would make sure that they could read or write while they were working for her. Thank you so much for tuning into our Junior Historians program. We hope to see you next time.